I must say, I find it surprising that people are so. Maybe they are surprised. Maybe they just pretend to be surprised by the ability of the nanobots to produce microbes and life forms. This was, I mean, it was proved months ago, and like there were so many YouTube videos that documented the creation and of this life, and I understand that perhaps I know that, I mean, my internet access is not is filtered by the Israeli intelligence, and which is of course just all the more like, I mean, makes my accusation like, why am I like under arrest for like so many months if my internet access is filtered anyway by the intelligence services. So it's all kind of like a theater. I'm just, I mean, crushed by the government, and my daughters are taken away from me. But all this is not new. So even if like other people around the world didn't like know anything, it should be, I mean, it should be said very clearly that the creation of those life forms, not only microbes but viruses, microbes, and of course worms, like the life forms that you could see with your own eyes, was documented very well for several months now. So many people in Israel knew about it, and they didn't seem to care at all. I mean, the only reaction was more torture but they tortured me anyway because they wanted money. They wanted my flesh and blood for me, and when they didn't get it, their reaction was torture. They didn't care at all. I mean, and there are so many videos that I say very clearly. I say that, I mean, I tell you all. I mean, it's almost impossible that those worms that you see before your eyes are created without like an entourage of viruses and germs. And actually, you've seen the germs. Some of the germs you've seen with your own eyes, like under the microscopes, the synthetic germs. And I told you many times, I mean, it's impossible that the land, I mean, the soil in Rishon LeZion, in my mother's, like, where I've done all the experiments in my mother's apartment, it's impossible that it's not infected already. I mean, even if I couldn't have stopped it, even if I wanted to, and that for certain it's infected, like, and for certain, I mean, there were like mutations of these microbes are, I mean, they are they I mean they not only they're not only resistant, but they are very happy with like things like to live inside things like soap or alcohol 70%, hydrogen peroxide 3%, iodine 10% solution, things that, I mean, all the mixtures that are used, that are standard mixtures that are used to kill germs. I mean, these germs and microbes they happily live inside it. And I told you, I mean, if a corona, if like something like the corona virus, but I mean that is made from these synthetic life forms will start on Earth. I mean, you will not be able to stop it with alcohol. You will need turpentine. Like, you will put like turpentine, not alcohol will be your like go-to medication. I've said it many times during the last couple of months that you will need turpentine everywhere. Like, I mean, you will be probably, like, all of you will be blind from the turpentine. I mean, that you will put on yourself just to protect you from the synthetic life forms. I mean, this was repeated in so many videos, with so much evidence, and so many people in Israel knew about it very well, and they didn't care at all, like, not even a bit. They only cared that the only like priority was to get, I mean, those nanobots from me, like using force, and when I didn't give it to them, they framed me like in crimes that I did not commit. They took away my daughters from me. They put me like in arrest and in jail, took all my money from me. But regarding the life forms, no one cared even a bit. And of course they knew. It's not even a question. I mean, this was, I mean, so many videos, so many hours of documentation were, I mean, put like, I put the effort to create so many videos to show you this stuff. And of course, I mean, whoever wanted, I mean, could actually like obtain samples for. I mean, I didn't live in a fortress. I lived in for the last half a year or more than that, since August. Since last September, I live in an apartment. I lived in an apartment that is, I mean, controlled by the Shabak, that is owned by, I mean, you know, like a slave of the Shabak, and the captain that you know, the captain that owns there. I mean, so it wasn't a problem at all. I mean, so what's new? I don't understand. Like maybe now people, like, I mean, from abroad are, I mean, they actually see the stuff that they didn't see before. But how come? I mean, yeah, I understand the internet might be filtered by it, but I mean, presumably you should have cared about me regardless of the internet. But you should have, like, I mean, follow me with disregard to whatever I publish or not. I mean, on YouTube or any other stage, and just by watching, just by following me the old-fashioned way, you could have seen like many of the life forms created before your eyes. Anyway, yes, of course I understand the implications. The implications are here for many months, and of course these that, I mean, it's a way one. I mean, it's a desperate action for my part, that, I mean, that is aimed to create or facilitate movement of arms and legs by people abroad. I will never be free. I will never be rescued from the Nazi prison, me and my daughters, without movement of arms and legs. We are past this stage by many, many years. It's impossible to conduct diplomacy with Israelis. It's impossible. You, all of you around the world, you need to control your ego. You put your ego in check, how do they say, and to understand that you are dealing with civilization that is far superior to you in technology, and is not impressed at all by your politics or by your supposedly emotional intelligence, or supposedly very, I don't know, like very supposedly super complicated human relations. We understand everything that you do is like the movement of bacteria. I mean, that's the way it is, and you need to understand that what we want from you is to rescue me and my daughters, me as a representative of the civilization, and my daughters from the Nazi prison. Only after my rescue and my daughters, the rescue of my daughters, we will be able to speak with you. We cannot speak with you as slaves of the Nazi state of Israel. And you also need to understand that if diplomacy was possible, we would have been the first to encourage it. I understand Israel is not no less than any other person. I've lived here for almost 40 years. I know their ways very, very well. I know this country more than the great majority of Israelis. And I tell you very simply, there is no way to rescue me and my daughters from the Nazi prison using mouses and tongues. There is no way to do it. There is no way. Movement of mouses and tongues is only worsening the conditions of my imprisonment in this Nazi hell. People abroad need to move arms and legs, not mouths and tongues, in order to rescue me and my daughters from the Nazi prison. And of course, I mean, all what you see, I mean, all the calamities are ways that to perhaps like create incentives so people abroad will move arms and legs. This includes the frying, the radiation from the sun. It includes asteroids that are on the way, and it also includes many like synthetic life forms that were created. I mean, no, it's not a new thing. They are created for many months now in Rishon LeZion, and they will keep being created. And I mean, it's only befitting that they are created from my sperm that is peeled, like, I mean, in all sorts of mixtures. Because no, my nature is not to jerk off and give the sperm to the Israelis so they will be able to use it so they will use it as commodity. No, it's not my nature. If anyone will not understand, my nature is to have sex with women, just like the nature of Homo sapiens man is to have sex with women. This was denied for me for many, many years by the totalitarian state that wanted me to be their farm animal. And it's only fitting that the sperm that is spilled on the ground creates those monsters. If anyone did not understand the symbolism in the punishment. Anyway, you don't have to understand the symbolism in the punishment. What you do have to understand is that the next coronavirus will be immune to alcohol, to polydiene, like to iodine solution, and to hydrogen peroxide, and to soap. And this was proved. It has been proven in this channel, this YouTube channel, that only turpentine will be able to eradicate the next coronavirus. So yes, you need to move arms and legs, not mouths and not tongues. Arms and legs.